Hello, welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to start working on my new This Is Not a Book. I had a great time completing my Wreck This journal, and I got some really kind comments on my flip through for that. So I thought this time I'd just put the camera on and film my process as I start to fill up these pages. This one took me about 18 months to do, so I think this is going to be a bit more of a challenge. I noticed that a lot of the prompts are very much, you know, going outside and having little adventures, and I'm not sure I want to do that, partly because we are in the middle of a global pandemic still and I'm supposed to be shielding, but also just because it's not really my thing. So a lot of mine is I'm going to be putting my own spin on it, but it's my book, and as Kerry Smith says in the introduction, it's your book. You do what you like with it. You make the rules, basically. So that's what I'm going to do. I've had a flip through a lot of them. I've got lots of ideas about where to get started. For some reason, this page is calling to me first today. So I think you're probably going to be able to see that. So it says, this is a limited edition art piece. Execute an idea on each of these squares. It could be a drawing or a thought. Sign and date each piece on the back, cut them out, display them in public with a sign that says limited edition art pieces free. Check back to see if anyone has taken them. Well, I'm not going to be, for a start, I could cut those out. I couldn't cut these out because that will cut out the previous page, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to make myself a little art gallery on these pages. So that's the kind of spin I'm going to put on it. Right, nice simple doodle. I'm going to do this one, which I think in Zentangle they call it paradox. And the paradox is that although it's all straight lines, it ends up forming a curve, and I love it because it looks impressive and complicated, but it's really just so simple. And I'm thinking if I cut out all of this me waffling, just make these really... Oh, have I got that in frame? Yes. Probably need to do myself a little square of tape or something. Yes, so I'm hoping that if I make these really short, snappy little process videos, one for each page. I found it easier doing this doodle to keep turning the paper, but it's a bit awkward because it's not lying flat because it's a book, so I'm having to wing it a little bit. So basically I'm going to carry on and fill up all of the rest of these squares with doodles like this, and then I'm going to give them frames and finish them off to look like a little art gallery inside my book. So I'll carry on doing that and I'll come back to you in a minute. So I've finished filling all of those squares with my doodles. Some of them I wasn't too happy with, so I just cut out a little square of paper and did another one I can stick over the top. So I'm going to stick all those on. I'm going to do some colouring in now, add some colour to them, probably colour the background as well, and I'm going to use some sheets of acetate and these like staring sticks to make frames, and I've got a sign rule so they're like proper little pictures. So I'm going to stick them on first and then add some colour, and I'll fast forward this. To get the gist of that, I'll carry on and add some colour to all of these and the background, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've added a bit of colour to the walls and to each of the pictures. Did a couple of new ones and stuck over because I wasn't very happy. They look a bit more colourful, and now I'm just going to use this sort of warm grey colour to add a bit of shadow to the left and underneath each painting, so it looks more like a, once I've got the frames on, it'll look more like a real painting and give it a bit of 3D effect. Okay, so I tried cutting some frames out of these staring sticks, but to be honest it's a little bit too much like hard work, and they were just coming out too wide. I'd have had to split them this way as well, and it's really not, you know, it's only a page in a book. There had to be an easier way. So what I've done is use these different square dies and layered them together to cut frames using my trusty old Cuttlebug, and I've just cut them out of scraps of card. I mean, I could have cut them, you know, if you were doing this and you haven't got a die cutting machine, you could easily just use a you know, like a craft knife and a metal edge ruler, but it was a lot quicker to do it with the dies. So now I'm just going to layer all these together to look like little frames, and I've also cut little 2-inch squares of this acetate, which I saved from you know, packaging and that. Layer them all up like this and stick them over the pictures. I've already added that little bit of a shadow with the coloured pencil, like I mentioned, and then I'm going to put little red dots. Like if you've ever been to an art gallery where they're selling the pieces, if they've got red dots on it, means they've been sold, and if there's lots of red dots, it just means they're limited edition prints, I think, and they're, you know, each red dot represents one that's been sold. So I'm going to do that, little tiny red dots there, and possibly I might put little names of the pieces on there and stuff, don't know. So it's just a matter of assembling the frames and then a bit of titivating. So I'll start doing that, and I'll fast forward you again and meet you at the other end. Nearly done now. Okay, so I've finished adding all the frames. Oh, hang on, what am I doing? Finished adding all the frames. I've doubled up with some of the frames. I've put 2 to give it a bit more depth, so they've all got acetate in. And I've got glue all over my fingers. I've put shadows all around them, and I'm just going to use a red Posca paint pen now because I think that'll work on top of the acrylic. I hope so anyway. Not acrylic, what do I mean? Acetate. To do some red dots on them. And then I'm done. So let's quickly do that in a minute. There we are. I'm going to leave that to dry now. And I think that's pretty much done. I might do a bit of a sign up here, I'm not sure. But I think that's enough for now. I think I'll leave it at that for now. Quite enjoyed doing that. And that's my very first page done. Come back to this and decided that I like the pictures and the frames and everything, but it just all looks a little bit bland. And I think it needs a black background. If you imagine it with that black. I just think that'll make it all pop a bit more. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to paint it black. I don't need the words anymore. I'm going to paint the background black, and then I might do a sort of art gallery sign or something. There. Here we go. Yeah, I don't need the instructions anymore because I've looked at them as much as I need to. It's going to be a little bit fiddly now painting in between them. I'm probably going to end up wishing I'd thought of this before, but hey. It's all painted black now. I've managed to get it on some of the frames, which is not really very surprising. So I'm going to go back over the frames with these with a couple of gold pens. So I've got a Faber-Castell Metallics one to try, and this STA metallic colour pen. I think I got these in a scorer box at some point, and I haven't done much with them. So, but it says it's light, fast and indelible for opaque writing, even on dark. So, right, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pencil out the words. So this is not a book, goes without saying. I'm going to put this is an art gallery. And I'm going to pencil it out first and then do it in white pen. And I might do a black and white stripe around the edge because I always like black and white stripes. So I'm going to whiz through that now and fast forward this. So go over these frames with the gold. So that'd be a nice little touch of a shine, and also it will cover up where I've got bits of black in there. That's the trouble when you don't plan these things, you just got to roll with the accidents, but you don't always end up doing things in the most sensible order. But somehow we'll make it work. Well, somehow quite a nice gold on this craft background. It's got a sort of antique gold look to it, which is quite nice with picture frames. I'll try this one now. On my own frame. Just could you put that off quickly? that's quite nice coverage as well. Yeah, quite like that. I quite like how it catches the light with the acetate in the frames. That's quite nice. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay for my very first page, bit of a warm-up. Well, thanks very much for watching that. I'll be along with part 2 in a couple of days. Which page shall I do next? Some very strange prompts. I've got a good idea for this one. This is a transformation. Come up with a way to permanently alter this page and change it into something completely different. Got a good idea for that one, so I think I might do that next. I'm not going to do them in any particular order. I shall just do whichever one is calling to me at the time. I'm still thinking, do I want to go around with a black and white stripe around here, or like neon lights? Have I got any neon pens? Neon lights around my art gallery. What about that? I might not be quite finished. Anyway, I'm definitely finished for now. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye. I've just popped back to say I couldn't resist it. Perhaps move that out a minute. I'll just zoom you out. That's it. I couldn't resist it. I went back in and added some neon lights, and that's definitely given it a sort of touch of fun and colour that I was looking for. So I'm happy with that now. That's done. Done and dusted. First page. Brill. Cheerio. See you next time. I'm really going now. Bye.